it doesn't matter whether the story comes from sports or entertainment, lifestyle stuff, holidays, like we just had with America's 250, or even, politics. If common sense comes out of it and common sense wins, I think it's a story worth talking about. Like the Maine Nazi tattoo guy, Graham Plattner, the one that the Democrats pushed for so long with so many accusations, all of that went away when common sense finally prevailed as he's out of the race. Okay, not technically out of the race. He suspended his campaign after this latest disgusting allegation. But when they pull the endorsements and the money, he's out of the race. Anyway, we'll get to it because this is unbelievable. And it's not really a story about politics. It's a story about people. It's just the American people finally saying, no, enough is enough. Even some of your friends on the Democrat side up there. It's a big win for common sense and really decency. We'll get to it. Thanks for finding me. Appreciate you. Wicked Radio live stream on X and YouTube and Facebook. Full podcast on TikTok as well, and the audio podcast, wherever you like to get those. Let's get right to it. You know about this Graham Plattner guy. You probably saw something about him, even if you're not involved with this stuff. You're too busy. You're trying to build your own life. You have nothing to do with Maine. The guy that had most famously the Nazi tattoo that he had to cover up early on in the campaign. It was a Nazi prison guard, a concentration camp tattoo. And if you're just hearing this story for the first time, it is unbelievable, I get it, but it's been going on for so long that a lot of us are just like used to it. Like, that's insane. I remember saying it at the time a few weeks ago. They spent so much time and money trying to convince the American people that Trump was a Nazi, and yet they turned around and they actually found a Nazi guy and they promoted him. Anyway, that might have been the least of his offenses. Now, here's the latest one that has turned all of this. We're going to start backwards here. Now, this lady, Jenny Rasico, had the guts to come forward. One of the other accusers that came forward against this guy with sexual assault allegations. Now, this is the key to the entire story. Her story was picked up, and she was believed. What about all the other accusers? How come they didn't believe her? Well, here's the latest. She got her story out at CNN last night.
He was heavily intoxicated, had intentions with me, and wasn't listening when I said no. And
you were saying, no, don't, over and over.
I remember, obviously I've had to recall a lot of this. This is something that I tried for many years to forget. And
all right, it gets, obviously it's a horrific story. I have no reason not to believe her. But here's the thing. Everybody believes her now. She gets all this media time. His own political party believe her now. They believe her, right? As they should. She's got a credible story. She went through hell with this. But why her and why now? They're going to try to memory hole, in other words, make this entire story go away and give you a reason that's not exactly true on why they're all pulling their endorsements. It was just a few days ago they were covering up all of this stuff with this guy, all of this stuff. What changed now? I'm going to tell you what changed, and I'll repeat it again and again, and I'll beat a dead horse on this. Common sense of the American people, especially up there in Maine. That's what changed. That's what got him out of the race. That's what got them to pull all the endorsements. If he had been still polling either neck and neck or still ahead of Susan Collins in this Maine Senate race, she never would have gotten that airtime. But the Democrats know the people spoke up. Common sense prevailed and will always prevail with American people because the American patriot, yes, Democrats too, they hate hypocrisy. All right, let's rewind about this Plattner guy. Now, up until this latest allegation, all of this stuff was fine. A lot of this stuff is gross, I apologize, but it's all true and documented. Now, we talked about the Nazi tattoo. That's the first thing that got him into the headlines. They explained that away. They explained it away right away. Well, he's a veteran, he had PTSD, it was a dark time, he did that, and look, he covered it up. It's fine, right? Okay. Lied repeatedly about it, but then he said he would rape people if they broke into his house, but not in a gay way, he said. Okay, there's that. Sexted with women while married. We know that. That was out there on some of the social media sites. Bragged about drawing offensive things on porta potties. Okay. Then he went on and praised Islamic terrorists. They dug up those past comments. Again, remember, at this point in time, it was still okay. They were still backing him, and the endorsements and the money was rolling in. That was okay. Always keep in mind and ask the question, what changed? Said he's a communist. That was out there, too. That apparently is okay these days. Joined an app known to be used by predators to contact minors. It's a creepy app. Senator John Fetterman spoke out about against this Plattner guy about that. Sexual assault allegations. Now we get to the latest one where all of a sudden everything changed. What changed, everybody? The American people, specifically the people in Maine, said, yeah, we're not going to vote for this guy. So all the endorsements are going away. They're pulling back all their endorsements, all of the politicians, all of these frauds. And they're pulling the money. And he suspended his campaign. Here's the announcement from this dirtbag himself, and I hate to even play it, but here it was, just to make it official. Suspending his campaign, even though these allegations are false. This means he's pretty much done, but here he was.
So, regardless of the inaccuracy of the reporting, but mindful of the political reality it will inflict, we are taking the time to reflect on the best path forward for the state that I love, the people that I love, the movement I belong to, and the goal of defeating Susan Collins. Those were the goals when we launched this campaign, and they remain my goals.
Yeah, he's done, pretty much, because they turned on him. Now, they defended all of these allegations, all of this gross stuff, all of it, with hard evidence, by the way. It's all evidence that he was all part of this whole thing. They explained it away, and they said it's okay and it's all right because he's a veteran. The reason why they chose this guy, the reason why the political machine up there chose this guy was because they thought they had, and this will show you how clueless they are, they thought they had a guy that could speak to the hardworking American people, right? We got somebody that can speak to the typical Trump supporter because he's a veteran and he works in an oyster thing, whatever he does. He's a fisherman. He's like, he talks like a regular hardworking guy, and he wears, working boots and all this other stuff. This is what they thought would work. This is what they thought was actually connected to the regular, common sense, everyday working American. This is what they thought they had. They knew. They vetted this guy. They knew about the allegations. A political machine like that with this much money and this much backing behind them, they know all about this stuff. But they were banking on and betting on the fact that the people up there, hardworking people of Maine, would vote for him. They did not count on people standing up and saying, no. This is not happening. So they're going to tell you it's all about this latest assault allegation. That's the story they're going to sell you. Don't you buy it. Now, this is just a couple of weeks ago. All of these frauds were still endorsing this guy, despite knowing all of this crap.
I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that Graham Plattner is the next senator from the state of Maine.
Is Bernie. I'm going to do everything I can to make sure he's the next senator from the state of Maine. Because it's all about defeating No, it's all about power. They don't care what they push forward. It's all about power until the people say enough is enough. But this is my favorite one of all time. Here's Pocahontas. Here's Elizabeth Warren just a couple of weeks ago. He's my kind of man.
I am here because Washington needs fighters, and Graham Plattner is the fighter we need. You bet. I said to myself, that's my kind of man.
Now they're all scrambling now. Now their PR teams and their crisis management teams are pulling this all back. So they had to make the official retraction of the endorsements now. But now they're trying to explain it all away. And they're doing their media time today, and you can see them all this week. All of these clowns, all of them. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren. Oh, and this guy who actually went to Maine to campaign with Plattner. This is after all of the previous allegations I just talked about until this one. Ro Khanna. Here's another hypocrite. This guy's from California. Here he was announcing this is just recently.
I'm headed to Maine for a rally with Graham Plattner on June 5th. The American people are sick and tired of the establishment. They want new leaders. We're going to stand up to the billionaire class, stand up to the Epstein.
By the way, Ro Khanna is one of those billionaires, but that's neither here nor there. We're going to stand up to them. No, they were so desperate. Hey, listen, there's only 100 Senate seats, and this is a shot they found. They could win one. They could win one back. They have to win the Senate. The bottom line is they would push forward anybody. It's proven now. Even the lowest scum of the low, including this guy, this hypocrite who tried to portray himself as a working class oyster fisherman when it turns out he was a trust fund prep baby. That's what this guy was. They'll push anybody forward as long as it's for power until the American people, and good for the people of Maine, pushed back. Because those poll numbers were slipping and getting closer and closer and closer. They found out he couldn't win. And that's why this latest assault allegation against this dirtbag Plattner came to light. Because once they realized they couldn't win, they realized they're up against the clock because they have to find somebody now to push in that Senate race to try to defeat Susan Collins, the incumbent Republican senator there. So now they were up against the clock. So what did they have to do? They had to turn on this Plattner dirtbag like a pack of dogs and take him down. And he is. And yeah, they're calling it a suspension of the campaign right now, but he's done. That race is over. Once they pull the money, you're all done. Don't take it from me. Let's find somebody who knows Maine, because that's where this is originating from, politics inside and out. Laura Libby is a state rep there. She's a Republican, so she knows she's fought the Democrats up there for the longest possible time. And she says basically what we're saying today. Don't buy what they're telling you. He's out because they realized very recently that he couldn't win. Then all of a sudden the accusations against him became real when they tried to gloss all over it before when they thought they found their guy. She says it very well, and this is somebody that should know.
The folks are not peeling away from Graham Plattner because they think he is a monster, a reprehensible human being. They are peeling away because they know he can no longer have a shot at winning. That's the bottom line here. And so when anyone in the future tries to take a stance of the high ground because they backed away from Graham Plattner, just know it has nothing to do with his behavior.
She's right. It has nothing to do with his behavior. He became a flawed candidate because the people of Maine, thank God, and I'm talking about Democrats, they were the ones who were going to potentially be voting for him, or independents, or libertarians. They're the ones who finally looked at this and said enough is enough. Because the polling that they see internally in these political parties, they know what's up, and they said, uh-oh. They're not believing this crap anymore. We got to turn on them like a pack of dogs, and they did. So the bottom line on this is common sense did prevail on this. The American patriot, I don't care whether you're left, right, blue, red, in the middle, it doesn't matter. The American patriot has the mindset of not ever tolerating hypocrisy, and this was becoming so clear what was happening with this guy. And they stood up and they said no. Didn't get a chance to vote no yet, but they were going to. And that was becoming crystal clear. So this guy is done. And it should be a win. And even though this is one of those swampy political gross stories and all the allegations are disgusting, it's true. All of this is gross. I really don't recommend looking into too much of this guy's background because it's just flat out just gross. But the takeaway here is, and this is what should make you feel great, it's not a system really, but the American mindset worked on this. They'll say no. It doesn't matter. And, they'll try to put us all in boxes and identity politics and all this other stuff. True American patriots, even if you're a Democrat or a far left or far right or in the middle or whatever the hell you call yourself, eventually, for now anyway, we still don't put up with this kind of crap. And that's why they turned on this guy. But I'm just warning you, get ready for it. Just like Lauren Libby said right there. They're going to try to memory hole this. They're going to try to say that we never endorsed him, or I didn't know, or I was lied to. Don't let them lie to you. All of these politicians knew what a dirtbag this guy was, and it was totally fine. All of these past allegations, all of the gross behavior, all of the stuff where there's proof. I mean, you can find his past Reddit comments and all this other stuff. All of it was out there for everybody to see until it became too much. And then it looked like he wasn't going to win, and then all of a sudden, it was a bad thing. Don't buy it. And the people in Maine didn't buy it, so nobody else should either. So this is a win. It's a win for common sense. It's a good thing. It's really good. Just insane that we even got to this point, isn't it? It's just crazy. So political story to come back from the holiday with. I apologize for that, but it's really not about politics. It's about a win for common sense. So let's enjoy it and take it for what it is. Thanks for hanging out with me. Appreciate you. I'm out of material. Quick one today. We're going to get back into action and get back to the work life. Thanks for finding the replay and the live stream on X and YouTube and Facebook. Replay, complete podcast is on TikTok as well. But you can always find the audio podcast for Wicked Radio, wherever you like to get those. Whatever platform you enjoy and whatever they tell you to do. Appreciate it so much. Again, don't ever let these politicians lie to you. Look for common sense wherever it lives. I'll talk to you tomorrow.